Hello, and welcome to Unity of Fredericksburg. My name is Linda, and I'm pleased to welcome all of you to the Unity of Fredericksburg weekly online gathering. At Unity of Fredericksburg, we're advancing the movement of spiritual awakening and transformation through unity, a positive path for spiritual living. We thank those of you watching on YouTube live or later and invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're able to attend live, we encourage you to join us in the Zoom community room for the full Sunday morning experience, including music, prayer, and connection. Our weekly newsletter includes the Sunday service link, and you can subscribe to receive that on our website at uofva.org. For everyone local to Central Virginia, Unity of Fredericksburg offers a variety of fun and enriching in-person gatherings every month. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter at uofva.org for all the details. Our message today comes from our minister, Reverend Cheryl Fair. And now, here's Reverend Cheryl.
Thank you, Linda, and welcome everyone who is in the Zoom room with me right now, and all of you watching on YouTube or picking up the recording on social media, whether you're watching live or later. I appreciate you showing up and being a part of the energy that is Unity of Fredericksburg. Our broadcast date today is Sunday, August the 9th. And last week, when I started off by noting Myrtle Fillmore's birthday, the co-founder of Unity. Her birthday was on August the 6th. And I realized that I will actually not be here the Sunday before Charles Fillmore's birthday, which is also in August. So I thought I would go ahead and make an early plug for Charles Fillmore's birthday today. Charles Fillmore was born on August 22nd, 1854. Now, one thing that you may not be aware of or have noticed is that Charles was actually 9 years younger than Myrtle Fillmore. She was born in 1845. So I just wanted to point that out. Here is a little bit on Charles Fillmore from Wikipedia. Charles became known as an American mystic for his contributions to spiritual interpretations of biblical scripture. And Charles Fillmore promoted vegetarianism for 3 decades of his life. Out there in Missouri, as they were building Unity Village in the various phases, there was always a dining hall. And for many, many decades, it was vegetarian only. In the when I first went out to Unity Village for classes, they still had that dining hall, and they had wonderful vegetarian options, but they also had included meat by then. So anyway, a little bit about Charles Fillmore. So happy birthday to Charles Fillmore, coming up on August 22nd. All right, today we are continuing looking at our focus for the month, which is being intentional. And in particular, we're looking at how we form our intentions. And I just want to kind of back up a little bit, remind ourselves of the spiritual definition of intention. Intention is the inner direction of your consciousness. It's the quality of energy that you choose to send into the world before any action or word or thought takes form. It's kind of that the background instructions that you have in place, and your intentions are based on the beliefs and the attitudes that you hold in consciousness. And there are plenty of times when we feel clear about our intentions. We are aware of our beliefs and attitudes. We're making choices based on the energy that we want to share in the world, right? And there are times when we are just functioning on autopilot, right? We may not be aware, and but those unaware reactions are still based on thoughts and feelings that we are holding in mind. And it may take some effort to wake up and realize when we are kind of sleepwalking through life. It could be a time when we're feeling overwhelmed or too busy or pressured, or we're just kind of not paying attention. We're just kind of sleepwalking through life. So, one of the ways to wake up and pay attention and work with our intentions more intentionally um, is to expand our understanding of the law of cause and effect. Now, there's a lot of potential ways to talk about this. We only have so many minutes on Sunday morning. So today we're specifically looking at cause and effect on an individual, personal level. And most of us already have a basic intellectual understanding of cause and effect. That can be based on how things operate, laws of how things operate in the physical world, or things we learned in science class. So we understand that if we throw a ball up in the air, it's going to come back down because there's the law of gravity. So the cause here of what's happening is us choosing to throw that ball up, and it's going to come back down. The effect is happening because gravity is in action, right? So we can choose whether or not to throw that ball, but we can't choose about gravity here on Earth. Gravity is always in action, and cause and effect is like that. On a spiritual level, it's always happening, whether we're aware of it and intentionally working with it or not. So let's take a deeper look at this on a spiritual level, but let's start with a really simple story. So I think I showed one of these last week. Most of us have one of these, right? So this is a story about a woman who's complaining every day. Her battery just is like not lasting. And she bought, she ordered a new battery, she got a new charger, she tried, like, she's checking the outlet in her house to make sure. She's like blaming the phone itself. Stupid thing, maybe I need to get a new one. One afternoon, one of her friends just kind of observed this woman using her phone and pointed out to her that she had, a good dozen apps open in the background, and the thing was buzzing and everything, and she had everything all turned up, and her friend just kind of gently said to her, I don't think your battery is the problem. I think your habits might be the problem. And the woman laughed. But as soon as she actually paid attention to all the apps she had open and all that, so all of a sudden her phone had plenty of battery. Has that ever happened to you? I know it has happened to me. Now, this is probably about a decade ago, because I can remember my phone at the time being really sluggish, and my teenage son at the time having to point out to me, like, Mom, you've got, like, he's speaking to me in terminology that I can understand, talking about windows being open. Like if you're on a laptop and you got all these, he's like, you've got like 35 windows open here. You had to close them out. Otherwise, they're working in the background. And once I realized, oh, I didn't know you had to do that, then all of a sudden my phone was working better. So this example is lining up with, we're not always aware of all the beliefs and attitudes and kind of instructions we're holding in consciousness, humming in the background, taking up energy, guiding our activity. These may be old, unexamined beliefs that are draining our effectiveness. Beliefs like, I'm not smart enough, or bad things always happen in threes, things like this. Now, they could be, because you've been showing up to Unity, they could be healthy beliefs that are actually helping you to thrive, right? So it could be a belief that every situation is a joyful education, or every soul I encounter is a lover or a teacher. These are things we could hold in consciousness. Here's a quote from the Buddha. Everything that happens to us is the result of what we ourselves have thought, said, or done. We alone are responsible for our lives. So notice when you're experiencing something undesirable in your life, your first impulse, your brain's first impulse, like when something's wrong, we don't like this, is to look for something or someone to blame in the outer world. Like, what's wrong with this phone? When actually, you know. So remember, anytime we are pointing at an outer cause, here's that old adage, anytime you point, oh, there are three fingers pointing back at you. The responsibility for our experience lies with the beliefs and attitudes we are carrying in consciousness. So, on an individual level, when we talk about cause and effect, that is our cause of the experience that we're having. And as soon as we change our mindset, as soon as we clear out all those old apps that we're not using, our experience changes. So when you don't like your outer experience, you need to look to the inner as the cause. When you don't like the effect that's happening, we need to look to the inner to, look at what is the cause that you have going on, the belief you have going on about this situation that's bringing about this effect. Here's a quote from author Joseph Murphy in The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Every thought is a cause, and every condition is an effect. Change your thoughts, and you change your destiny. So, I'd like to invite you to bring to mind a situation that you're experiencing that you would like to change. So, it might just be something you have going on personally, it might be something in a relationship. It might be something that you are observing in the outer world and feeling a lot of stress about. And we're going to begin today in a similar mood that we did last week, because last week we were working on asking questions. So I want to start off by asking a few questions. If you have some pen and paper nearby, you might feel the desire to write something down. Ask yourself, how am I feeling about this situation? So we're really paying attention to our emotions. Is there anger? Is there frustration, sadness, whatever might be up around this situation that you would like to see change? Next question. How do I experience this in my body? Just pay attention when you think about this situation, when it comes up, when it's flaring up in front of you, where are you feeling it? Do you feel some tension in your gut? Do you feel some shortness in your breath? Do you feel your heart racing, tension in your jaw? What is it? Just notice what your body is telling you. And then third question, ask yourself, what am I choosing to believe about this situation? Very often we're carrying beliefs about what's right and what's wrong. We might be carrying beliefs about our own worthiness or lack thereof. We might have a desire for things outside of us to make sense, to be logical, and we might feel frustration. What am I choosing to believe? All right, take a breath. And we'll move on. Now, this activity is intended to open us up to the realization that the beliefs and attitudes that we are holding are creating the experience that we're having. And this is the law of cause and effect in action. The cause is the landscape of your consciousness, and the effect is your outer experience. So if you believe that something that you're engaged with or that you're observing is wrong, you will experience it as injustice. If you believe that something happening is sad, that it's sad when this or that happens, you will experience it as tragic. Likewise, if you believe that goodness can be found in every circumstance, then you will experience the good. This is all cause and effect. Now, this activity of cause and effect is a universal law. It's always happening. You can't not participate in it. You can't opt out. It simply is. Now, whatever you are experiencing, that is where your choice point is. That is your opportunity, your attitudes about it, your beliefs about it, your thoughts about it. Here's a quote from author Wayne Dyer in You'll See It When You Believe It. Your circumstances do not make you, they reveal you. Yes. So those reactions you're having, those things that are coming up for you, that is revealing for you what the beliefs are that you're carrying so that you can then work with those. Now, your brain may be clamoring with questions at this point. What about the things that are truly beyond my control? What about things that other people do? What about the weather? Now, we're not here to deny that things happen in the material world. I personally have plenty of experience of things happening to me because, in particular, the example that's coming to mind right now is an auto accident that I was in where someone was distracted or who knows what, but blew through a red light. And this absolutely changed the course of my life. But where I can take responsibility is how I respond to things that happen, things that other people do, weather, things that I feel like I have no control over. I have absolute control over my beliefs about it, my attitudes about it, my thoughts about it. Now, notice when your brain is asking these, what about, your brain is looking for a cause in the outer world because our brains are here to manage the outer world for us, right? No matter what's happening in the outer, your point of power is how you choose to respond, how you frame your attitude, how you shape your intentions. So let's look at what we can do. We can work with the raw materials of divine principles, such as Unity's 12 powers, right? We can work with those to improve the quality of our consciousness so we can have a different experience. And rather than looking for causes in the outer world, we can choose to build better intentions from within. So here's a quote from Scott Aubrey, who manages the Spiritual Passages website. You are an artist, and your life is the canvas, and your brush strokes occur every time you focus the law of cause and effect. The effects and circumstances we experience in the outer life have an inner cause, a belief system that has produced it. So once you have determined that you are willing and ready to make a change in what you believe, and that can be a big leap, right? We kind of talked about that last week. Are you willing? are you ready? But let's assume you are. How do you go about making that happen? How do you, well, one thing we've been talking about sort of the individual experience of cause and effect. One thing you can do is intentionally tap into the divine level of cause and effect, deeper than how your individual consciousness, the deeper, wider, more expansive than how your individual consciousness operates. Open yourself to the absolute source and cause of all that is. Did you know that the word cause is another name for that which we call God? Divine mind, the universe. So all the goodness and power and strength and imagination of divine mind is waiting for you to claim and activate through the activity of your consciousness. It's all there for you, waiting for you to make that choice to claim it. Here's a quote from Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore in The 12 Powers, where he identifies this element of that which we call God. God is first cause, the principle from which flow all manifestations. So one of the practices that Unity gives us is we can work on this with our use of affirmations, right? So here are a few examples. Don't forget, you can go back and look at the recordings. You don't have to be scribbling like crazy. When you are experiencing lack of any sort. So I don't have enough money and not enough time, not enough love, not enough food, whatever, not enough. Claim abundance. All my needs are met with ease and grace. All my needs are met with ease and grace. When you are experiencing conflict, claim peace. As I witness and breathe in what is, I breathe out peace. As I witness and breathe in what is, I breathe out peace. When you're feeling fear, claim love. I release fearful thoughts as my heart chooses love. I release fearful thoughts as my heart chooses love. Oh, excuse me. When you're feeling lost, or I don't know what to do, or I can't make up my mind, claim divine order. My next best step is revealed through order and wisdom. My next best step is revealed through order and wisdom. So as you do this kind of practice, you tap into the divine level of cause and effect, claiming the goodness of that which we call God in every situation. In the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson, shallow individuals believe in luck. Strong individuals believe in cause and effect. So, in those areas where you desire change, do your spiritual work with an awareness of cause and effect and create the change you want to see in your world. And I guarantee you, the ripples will go out and affect the larger outer world. Here's a quote from Albert Einstein. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. Thank you, Albert Einstein. So Unity is here, my friends, with practical principles and practices for your employment. So rather than looking without for reasons why, you have the capacity to pivot and look within and create that experience that you desire. One last quote here. This is from William Wordsworth. Your mind is a garden. Your thoughts are the seeds. The harvest can either be flowers or weeds. So, for all of our gardeners out there looking at cause and effect in terms of a garden is a wonderful example for us spiritually if we think about pulling weeds and what we want to plant and grow. It's your choice. It's your choice, my friends. And as Jesus taught, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. All the goodness of the universe is there and available for you. You must intentionally claim it and tap into it. And that concludes our time talking about cause and effect for today. We're going to move into our time of meditation now together. And I encourage you to take a few deep breaths. Let us settle into this moment together. And to warm us up for some time in the stillness, we're going to listen to some words from Myrtle Fillmore and how to let God help you as she demonstrates this intentional working and aligning ourselves with goodness. Myrtle says, I do not believe in evil. I believe in good. I do not believe in sin. I believe in truth. I do not believe in want. I believe in abundance. I do not believe in death. I believe in life. I do not believe in ignorance. I believe in intelligence. There are no discords in my being. Being is peace. My faith, understanding, and love are becoming one. What therefore God hath joined together, let not humanity put asunder. Let us move now into the time and the stillness together. And as we begin to bring our awareness back to the present moment, bring your attention now to your lower torso. Just feel the energies of release and life divine strength and order, humming there in the background and available for you at any time. Feel your core humming with wisdom, your heart expanding with harmony and unity. Feel your voice sing with words of power and truth. Bring the focus to the upper part of your body, energizing your faith with imagination, understanding, and the willingness to shift into new and glorious ways of being. And we close our time of meditation today with an affirmation. I will say it once and you can repeat it with me a couple times. I align my mind with God mind, and I am grateful. Say it with me. I align my mind with God mind, and I am grateful. Let's do it one more time. I align my mind with God mind, and I am grateful. Thank you so much for being here. And I am going to hand it back to our friend Linda to finish up our YouTube broadcast.
Thank you, Reverend Cheryl, and thanks for watching the weekly broadcast from Unity of Fredericksburg. Visit our website, uofva.org, to learn more about our mission of spiritual awakening and transformation, and support our ministry with your financial donation. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time.